This is a Marketing for Learning podcast, the only podcast in the world that's guaranteed to increase your knowledge, skills, and capabilities when it comes to marketing for learning. Plus, there's a gratuitous amount of pineapples. You're welcome.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Marketing for Learning podcast. It's Hannah here with you today, and I've got to be honest with you all. My brain has just turned to mince pies, mulled wine, Christmas movies, praying for a white Christmas, and all things December. And every December, I get really reflective over the year that's just gone. And those loyal listeners will know this has been an immense year. But it also gets me thinking about the year that's to come and what's going to happen. What do I need to do? Where do I need to be? And over the last few weeks, Ash and I have done so much planning for 2025. There's some really, really big things coming from Mass next year. But it also got me thinking about L&D and the fact that pretty much every year we get the same kind of articles of what's in store for 2025 or what's the 10 biggest trends, and they're always the same thing. So I thought I'd leverage one of our biggest trends from this year to see if I could get a better answer about what our predicted trends are for next year. So I asked Chat GPT. And it doesn't take a genius to work out that I didn't like the answer. So in this episode, I'm going to talk through what Chat GPT actually said, why I disagree, and I'm going to address the big elephant in the room and the one thing that Chat GPT missed, but most of these articles and listicles and videos and podcasts miss every single year. So let's get into it. All right, there's absolutely no prizes for guessing what came in on the top spot when I asked ChatGPT what the trends will be for 2025. Of course, it said AI-powered learning. And I'm not the best person to talk about AI-powered learning. I absolutely think it's going to have a phenomenal impact on our industry. I think it's going to really change the game. I think it's one of the biggest things that's changed anything for us in a long while. But I'm also scared. I'm also scared that we're getting a bit too reliant on it. And I'm almost getting flashbacks of 2020 when we first got put into lockdown and everyone just made everything digital instantly because we could, and that was our only solution. And I feel like everyone's got their blinkers on and they're ignoring all the other solutions away from the world of AI. And we're all just using AI to try to do absolutely everything possible just because we can, even though it might not be the right solution. Now, I think there are some huge wins with AI. I use Motion, so AI structures my working week. I have used the AI tools in Canva to magic extend stock imagery. Just today on a masterclass, one of the delegates used Copilot to come up with an idea for a logo for a campaign they're doing. I can really see how it can help speed up our workflows. And I absolutely believe there's going to be huge application in the world of L&D too. But I don't think that should mean that we stop doing everything that we have always done. I don't think it's that we should stop trying, for want of a better word. We still need to put the thought into our L&D strategies and the processes and our solutions that we're creating. And we need to put the human element in. AI can't create something that's going to resonate really well with humans without you casting your eye on it or really investing the time in crafting your prompts and educating the AI. And what I worry about for 2025 is that we're seeing some really phenomenal, really educated people use AI and show us what they can do with AI. And then Joe Blogs from down the street is picking it up and is trying to replicate that, but isn't investing the time in the prompts and in the queries and in educating the AI. So we're getting really half-assed learning solutions from it or outputs from it. That scares me. So I think what I would like to see the trend be is using AI with thought, with care, and not relying on it for everything. And I really hope that's what happens in 2025. I hope that the trend is to use AI with care and add the human element back into it. Okay, AI-powered learning took the top spot, but straight after that was extended realities, micro-learning, and just-in-time learning. Now, extended realities, so that's VR, AR, and all of that stuff. Before COVID, not that I want to talk too much about COVID in a podcast about 2025, I was a huge advocate for XR and I was really excited about the possibilities. And I still think those possibilities are there, but we live in a different world now. I saw some really great examples of things like train companies using virtual reality to help people learn how to do things that would be incredibly dangerous to do on a live track, for example. And I think all of that application is still there. But if I think about every client I've worked with in the last 4.5 years that I've been at Mass, I don't think extended realities would be applicable to any of them. And if they told me that they were adopting XR, I'd wonder if they were just doing it for the fad. So if there is a genuine application for extended realities in your organisation, shoot, go for it. I think there's so much potential there. But we need to really consider about why we're using that modality and how it's going to work for our audience. A lot of organisations are still hybrid. If you're in the office, is there a way to actually do things in real life rather than virtual reality? I don't know. It's just a very murky area for me. And I was shocked to see it come up in the top trends list from Chat GPT. But then we all know we can't really rely on Chat GPT. And then just-in-time learning and micro-learning. Now, I've been in the L&D industry coming up to 9 years. Yeah, coming up to 9 years. When I first came into the industry, micro-learning, bite-sized learning was like such a thing that I read up on it. And obviously I worked for an in-house vendor at that point. So I was writing blogs on it and we partnered with an LMS that was really focused on it. And I can't believe 9 years on, we're still talking about it. Absolutely. People want to get to the answers quicker than before. And we should be learning in the flow of work and all of that good stuff. Is it a trend or is it just what should be the status quo? That there is some form of smaller, bite-sized, more compact learning within our learning solutions as a bigger picture. It plays a part alongside more formal training and longer training and reading a book. It's just another modality. And it has been a trend, according to these articles, every single year since 2015. I don't get it. I absolutely believe in micro-learning. I absolutely believe in having learning available to people in the flow of work so they're not having to break their workflows. And I believe that we learn all day, every day. But is that a trend? I think that should just be our status quo and what we're already focusing on. So I probably agree most with micro-learning and just-in-time learning for the sake of the benefits it gives to our audience. But I wouldn't say it's a trend. Okay, I'm going to mix up ChatGPT's order a little bit here. So in the 4th spot, we had data-driven insights. And in the 7th spot, we had role-based skill development. Data-driven insights, absolutely. I love it. I'm so pleased it's here. Again, I don't think it should be a trend, But we absolutely should be focusing on it. So it makes me very happy, Hannah. I'm often talking to people about how much marketers rely on data to point to what we're doing well, what we're doing not so well, point to how we can improve. And L&D need to start doing that too. And we need to be thinking big picture beyond just smile sheets and bums on seats and completion rates. Yay! We need to be thinking really what happens post-training. And we should absolutely be using data to do that. So, yep, and yep again. Let's make sure data is part of our 2025 plans. Role-based skills development is a really interesting one for me because my gut instinct was, if we're not doing role-based skills development, what on earth are we doing? And then I kind of told myself, well, actually, there's a lot of transferable skills and we need to be looking at those as well. So I think it's an interesting perspective because over the last few years, I've heard a lot more about transferable skills and skills for life and human skills and leadership skills and things like that. And I do feel like we've somewhat moved away from the role-based skills development. Do we need to move back to it? I think that's completely dependent on the organisation. And again, I'm shocked to see this as a trend. But I think while I'm recording this podcast, I'm realising I just don't like the word trend. It should be a focus for 2025. We should be thinking about it. But only if it works for your organisation. Do the skills mapping. Speak to your people and come up with a learning strategy that's bespoke for your organisation. Stop jumping on the bandwagon. If you don't think role-based learning is the way to go for your organisation, don't do it. Just because other people are talking about it. You're the expert in learning in your organisation. So I think it's really important we remember that and we focus on what's right for our people and our business rather than just following suit. All right, so in spots 5 and 6 was social and collaborative learning and user-generated content. Now, I would love to see these become a bit more of a trend and be used a bit more freely across L&D circles. I often think sometimes in a desire to make everything perfect and really craft this phenomenal learning experience, we become a bit overprotective of learning and then absolutely neglect the fact that learning's happening with or without us. People are learning in their day jobs, they're learning from one another, they're going away and trying to learn through books and Google and YouTube and TikTok and all that stuff. It's happening with or without us, and by trying to hold the reins and keep everything together, I think we're doing ourselves a little bit of a disservice. So I'd love to see more organisations becoming more open and accepting of social and collaborative learning. We run a lot of discovery sessions here at Maths. I should actually tally up how many hours of discovery I've done this year alone because it's a lot. And people are telling us they want that human-to-human connection. They want that collaboration. They want to work with their colleagues. I really think that our audience are asking us for social and collaborative experiences, and user-generated content goes hand in hand with that. Peer-to-peer learning, anything around that kind of piece, I think could be really, really impactful for us next year and beyond. We are all humans. No matter what's going on with tech, we are human beings and we are social creatures. We thrive off of being around others. And no, it's not for everyone, but it's like I was saying earlier, that's why we have so many different modalities and we can pick and choose those. And I think we neglect social learning. And I'm not saying you've got to go and get a new LXP or LMS that says that they do social learning. We can just do it in a really natural human way, mentoring and things like that as well. I don't think we should neglect them in our 2025 L&D strategies. I think it's a really great way to answer a lot of the requests we're getting from our audience. I'm having a lot of people say, oh, I want to go back to normal training, still thinking pre-COVID times of being in a classroom. And really what they're missing is that true collaboration and interaction. we can facilitate that in a digital world, and we can facilitate that no matter what your setup is. We should be putting emphasis on it. Learning is a human thing. We are talking about human beings, and we're social creatures. So it's taken me a while into this podcast, but I actually agree with this one. Okay, I'm not even really going to give the final thing Chat GPT said the time of day, because it said all-in-one learning platforms. Consolidated platforms will streamline training, analytics, and progress tracking. Yeah, that's what we all want our LMSs to do, or our LXPs, or our learning platforms. Sure. Okay, I don't know what to say to that. Do I think it's a trend? No. Do I think it's what we want from our tech? Yeah, sure. That's all I've got to say on that piece. And I think it leads quite nicely into my overwhelming feeling about what Chat GPT surfaced, and what I feel about a lot of these articles that go out every year. They're so focused on the tech and the new things we can bring in. And there's one huge piece of the puzzle that's missed year in, year out. And it's our audience. It's the human piece. We should be human-centered in all that we do in learning. As I've already said, learning is a human and a natural thing to do. Why do we negate that so often? I would like to see the tables turn on that matter. Because if we deeply understand our audiences, if we do the market research, if we talk to people, we will get a really clear understanding of what our audience wants, needs, what their pain points are. And then we'll be able to craft learning experiences that actually mean something to them and actually help them progress in their careers and in their roles, and in turn help your business do exactly the same. I'm kind of bored of it being missed out now. We've been beating this drum for a long while, but I know people were doing it before maths was even born. We can't keep overlooking the human element of learning and development. I want people to start thinking about their audience first. Audience centricity is something we talk about so much at maths. I do want people to start thinking more like a marketer, and in everything they do, think about the what's in it for me. Why would somebody care about this? How is it benefiting them? I think we should start leading with empathy and start really empathizing, not just with the easy people in the close circles around us, empathizing with all of your employees, your stakeholders, other business functions. Think about what they're doing, what they're thinking, what they're feeling, and think about how we can influence that. We are here to serve the business and its people. I'm honestly sick to my back teeth of nearly 10 years of these trend articles not mentioning the most important element of learning at all. The biggest trend, the forever trend, the thing we should be doing year in, year out, and we are not, is focusing on our target audience, really understanding them. So that's what my trend of 2025 is going to be. Trying to ensure that every L&D professional I come across knows that they should be putting their audience first. They should be using data and insights to help them on their way. And sure, the end solution should be using all of these things we've spoken about. We should integrate more social and collaborative learning, in my opinion. But it's all got to start with a human. And if it doesn't, we're going to keep going round in these circles. Use AI, but think about your audience first. Use XR, but think about your audience first. Integrate user-generated content into your learning. Sure, but think about the audience first. What is right for your audience? That's the only way we're going to make progress in L&D. So there you have it. Hannah takes on Chat GPT. And I know sometimes people interpret our podcast episodes as a bit of a bash on AI. And like I said at the start, I use AI for a lot. I'm not bashing it. Just want to make sure that we're really integrating the human in, and not using it to write our learning strategies after the search that I've done today. I really think that it's time to take ownership. It's time to do something differently. And I think really that does start with going back to basics and thinking about our audience. So if you're currently writing your 2025 strategy, keep that in mind. I think it will really, really benefit you, your team, your organization. So thank you for joining me on today's podcast. I'm also interested that if somebody else searched the same search query, what ChatGPT would answer for you. So if you've got the spare 5 minutes and you fancy doing it and pinging me an email, please do. I'm very intrigued. But if not, I will see you on the next episode of the Marketing for Learning podcast. See you later, guys.